of this fuel crisis. For those reasons, Madam Speaker, allow me to call distinguished Senator Moses Wetangula to second me. Thank you.
Senator Agata, can you get a seconder?
Yes.
Oh, Senator Wetangula.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I want to salute the distinguished senator from Murang'a for bringing this motion at this timely period. Madam Speaker, it does not matter which side of the political divide you stand or sit today, the country is hurting, and hurting badly. The price of fuel, Madam Speaker, has skyrocketed to unprecedented levels. Last week, Madam Speaker, I left Nairobi on Wednesday and fueled a car at 123 per liter. The following 2 days, I fueled the same car in Kisumu. It was at 152 shillings per liter. Kisumu is your count, Madam Speaker. And it's not because of the traders, it's because of the irresponsible manner in which this uncaring government is handling public affairs. Madam Speaker, this is a very critical moment in this country. One, the rains are setting in, so the breadbasket of this country, the counties stretching from Nakuru all the way to the Uganda border, which includes your county, are preparing for planting season for the main stable food crop of this country, maize. There is no diesel, so the farmers cannot plow their farms. There is no diesel. Those who use large-scale equipment, planting machines, cannot do so. And those, even with last year's harvest, cannot ferry the crop to the market because there's no fuel. That creates a crisis, Madam Speaker, that hits everybody, more particularly persons living in urban centers where they have no farms, they rely on buying food. Madam Speaker, Kenyans travel to and from work because of our attachment to our rural homes. Every weekend, Kenyans travel to their rural homes from where they work. Nairobi is virtually half empty during weekends. People travel to Kiambu, to Murang'a, to Nakuru, to wherever, all the way to Western. Now they can't travel because the moment the price of fuel skyrockets, there's no fuel, everybody wants to take advantage of the other. Fuel is a critical component of every production sector, Madam Speaker. Whether you are talking of flour milling, you need fuel. You are talking of baking bread, you need fuel. You are talking of generating electricity from thermal plants, you need fuel. We need fuel in each and every life production line in this country. And Madam Speaker, what is shocking is that this uncaring government is remained mute. They have maintained a conspiracy of silence. They are not talking, and I just hope that the distinguished young senator nominated is not the government spokesman on the floor of this house telling us that there is a shortage of fuel in Tanzania, which is not true, and assuming it was, what has it got to do with Kenya? Madam Speaker, we have even been told untruths that the Ukraine war is affecting Kenya's fuel supply.
Senator, just 1 minute. We are going to take care of that interruption. Yes. Senator Ngugi, what is your point of intervention again?
Madam Speaker, you know Honorable Senator Moses Wetangula is my senior, and I actually call him my dad. But is he in order to mislead the nation that this government is so uncaring, yet we know 23 hours ago, the President of the Republic of Kenya did sign the supplementary budget under sum total of 34,444,813,000 from the supplementary budget has been allocated by the government to stabilize the cost of fuel in this republic. Therefore, it is completely wrong to assume that this government is uncaring, yet yesterday the president did sign that supplementary budget.
Madam Speaker, I don't want to believe that the newly nominated senator is a government spokesman on the floor of this House. Madam Speaker, under our standing orders, he has even not cited the authority that he's reading. He's reading on something that looks like a phone and pretending that he's giving me information or standing on a point of order. Madam Speaker, I want to say this, and you'll give me a little more time because I have much more to say, and since we are few, I should have that latitude. Madam Speaker, the government engaged oil marketeers and undertook to give them a subsidy. The amount of money owed to oil marketeers in this country, Madam Speaker, is in excess of 34 billion. This cumulation to 34 billion, what exactly happened? I'm tempted to believe what the senator from Murang'a is questioning. Is this the money that was used on a misadventure called BBI? Is this the money that is being used to fund politically correct activities in the country? Or is this money that has been outrightly stolen? Because the president himself is on record as saying in this country, his government loses to theft 2 billion shillings every day. That is from the president himself.
Senator Dulo,
It is not me saying it.
Yes, Senator Dulo.
Is my senior and friend, Senator Wetangula, in order to allege that the 34 billion is owed as a result of BBI or campaign? Let him provide evidence to that effect. I thank you. Because this is a house of record. Can you provide evidence? It's not guesswork, Senator Wetangula. Kindly provide evidence to that effect.
Madam Speaker, the distinguished Senator for Isiolo, who is my dear good friend and learned junior, was not listening. I did not make a statement of fact. I asked questions. I said, is it that this is happening? And I said, I'm tempted to think that what the senator from Murang'a said is true, that this may be the case. That is not a statement of fact. That is a debating supposition. A debating supposition that you, if you have contrary issues, you can bring to the
Senator
floor.
Dulo,
If I can proceed,
Madam
Madam
not
Speaker.
getting into argument back and
Yes.
forth, but okay, let's hear your point of order.
Senator Wetangula, you are saying that is not point of fact. You are misleading this country saying that. There's so many Kenyans who are ignorant out there. And the conclusion from your statement right now could be what you are saying is right. And this is house of record. If you are actually giving us false evidence, or rather false statement, and you are saying maybe, you know, can you provide evidence? Then we can believe you that the money was actually taken to campaign or BBI. Don't mislead Kenyans, Senator Wetangula.
Senator Uchila yako.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I think the issue here, and that's why I'm rising on a point of order, is that Senator Wetangula is insinuating. It may not be that he's asserting, he's insinuating that the deficit, that the money that has not been available to be used to subsidize the fuel issues is likely to have been used in the BBI matter. and he is saying he is tempted to believe. So would I be in order to seek clarity from yourself, Madam Speaker, that it would be in order to make insinuations in this House? Because I am sure if that is allowed, we could also make some very serious insinuations, and we could degenerate into a disorderly House.
Senator Wetangula, I think it is
Madam
important.
Speaker,
No,
if I can
let me just say something before
Okay.
you continue. I think it is important that you know we are at a very critical time in the politics in the country. At the same time, this the fuel problem is a very serious problem. So it would be very nice for us to say things that don't inflame the situation, but to help the situation.
Those who purport to speak for government on the floor of this House must tell the country, where did the subsidy money go? Why is it now resurfacing in a supplementary budget? This is money that ought to have been there. Why were oil dealers not paid the subsidy that was already there and budgeted for? Now we are coming to a supplementary to generate money to pay the oil companies. A further question, Madam Speaker. In a crisis of this nature, why hasn't His Excellency the President come up to address the nation and calm passions and anxiety? Why has he kept silent? We're seeing statements being released from junior officers in government. A crisis of this nature requires the President to come and address the nation and tell us where his government took the money, why they didn't pay the oil companies, and why he has plunged the country into a crisis. Because we're in a crisis, Madam Speaker. Yesterday, I passed through Kisumu to Bungoma. At Luanda Market, which you know, Madam Speaker, there were near riots in a small petrol station. I could see over 1,000 border riders struggling to get fuel. We went through Mumias, same thing. Bungoma, same thing. This morning as I was coming at 6 a.m., every petrol station was jammed with anxious border riders, matatu riders, long queues. This is not the Kenya we want to have. This is not the Kenya we should have. And a government that can reduce the country to this level of irresponsible leadership must be called to order, must be called to account. And I want to hear from my distinguished colleagues who are jumping up to defend an indefensible government, to tell this country, where did the money go? Why are we not? May I beg for some more?
Yes, let's.
5 minutes, Madam Speaker. 5.
I think we are good enough. We can do 5 minutes.
5. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Why are we in a crisis? And Madam Speaker, the most dangerous thing is not to have lack of fuel, but eventually to have lack of food if farmers cannot be enabled to produce food. You can imagine what hungry and angry Kenyans can turn to. And we want Kenyans to be told, including me, and we can understand. If there is a problem, we live in this country. We defend this country. We protect this country. But nobody is going to protect a government that is acting in such an irresponsible manner that even when people are going to near riots, everybody is dipping their heads in sand like ostriches. And people are suffering. Madam Speaker, I've asked questions on this floor before. DR Congo, Burundi, Rwanda, Uganda, they import fuel through Kenya. From Mombasa, the cost of transportation, the cost of all the hazards of getting the product to their country. Today, Madam Speaker, you go to Goma in Congo, fuel is cheaper than in Kenya. And you want to say this is a government that cares for this country? It doesn't, Madam Speaker. And we are now told something incredibly false, that the war in Ukraine is affecting Kenya's economy. How? Kenya gets its fuel from UAE. Kenya gets oil from Saudi Arabia. Kenya gets oil at times from Qatar. We have no record of importing fuel from Ukraine, and Ukraine is not even a major fuel producer and exporter. So don't tell us that we have the effects of the Ukraine-Russian war, and that's why we have these fuel problems. How can a country like South Sudan not have the same problems? Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi, and here in Kenya, it is just because of greed, Madam Speaker. And I want to repeat that it is now the duty of those who speak for government, like my distinguished colleague from Isiolo, to tell us. In law, Madam Speaker, and you are a lawyer, we say, res ipsa loquitur, where things speak for themselves. Where did the money go? If the money is not there, the irresistible conclusion is that either it has been misapplied, misappropriated, or stolen. And that is the history of this country. Like I said, the president himself is on record. We lose 2 billion Kenya shillings daily to theft. I don't know who can stand up and defend that in this house, or even dispute that. And my colleagues on the other side of the floor know these things only too well. I would want to see my brother Ochila Ayako, my very distinguished close friend, go to Migori and tell the people of Migori, who he wants to elect him as a governor, that these fuel shortages are all right in a country like Kenya, that the queues in petrol stations are all right because it is normal. I wish you well, my brother. I want you to be elected a governor. And I'll tell those who I know in your account to elect you, but maintain your sobriety. And when we see something wrong, we must be able to tell the king that he's naked instead of praising his suit when he has no suit. This is a naked government, and this government, if anything, we should pray quickly that 9th August is brought forward so that we can vote them to go home and we show them how to run the country. Because we, as Kenya Kwanza, are coming to save this country from this morass, from this irresponsibility, from this greed, from this theft, and from this uncaring behavior that doesn't know that Kenyans are suffering. Madam Fatuma, you can tell this house, how many patients are dying in ambulances because there's no fuel? Do we want to defend that? How many Kenyans? My time is up, I'm told. Madam Speaker, if this was a caring and democratic government, President Uhuru and his government should tender their resignation and leave leadership to those who can lead the country. That is where we are. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Senators, I propose the question that the Senate do now adjourn. Senator Ochila Ayako.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for the opportunity to make my remarks. And for the records, my very good friend Wetangula told me to sober up. Madam Speaker, I don't drink anymore. I stopped that 3 years ago because my health couldn't take it anymore. You know, he drinks himself, but he's always sober. So for the records, I don't drink, I'm always sober. I want to thank my colleague for his best wishes to me that I should get elected, and I will equally want to give him best wishes. Madam Speaker, it is true, the President said that a lot of money is stolen every day, about 2 billion. He went further and attributed that theft to the coalition that Moses Wetangula belongs to. He said those who are in that coalition are the thieves. So if we are to quote the president as having said that money is lost every day, we should quote him fully, that the thieves belong to that coalition that it attributed that theft to. And if his statement is that of fact, then it is also a fact that those thieves are the ones who want him to resign at this very critical time when we want an orderly transition. We want everybody stationed where they are supposed to be. We want all of us to campaign soberly and then elect the person we think will take us through the crisis. So we do not want any resignation, including you, Madam Speaker. We don't want you to resign. If you resign, I do not know what will happen to us in this House. The fuel crisis is a serious crisis. 2 days ago, I left my house for a meeting. I didn't know I did not have a fuel in my vehicle, so I got stalled somewhere. I had to go back to my house in a boda to pick another vehicle. I found that did not have a fuel. A third one did not have a fuel. I nearly thought of walking to my meeting. I was late for that meeting by an hour. I'm just glad or fortunate